the SiriusXM app and listen on your phone when you get out of the car. Anywhere you take your phone, you can take Howard Stern, NFL Radio, and commercial-free music channels from nearly every genre. Channels vary by subscription plan. You never have to miss your favorite SiriusXM programs or commercial-free music. Find the SiriusXM app in the App Store or call 844-711-8800 or visit SiriusXM.com/app to find out more.
You deserve the best. With the SiriusXM Platinum VIP plan, you can unlock the ultimate listening experience in up to 2 cars and stream anywhere with 2 app logins. Enjoy our greatest content, opportunities for live VIP experiences, and prioritize customer care. Plus, get access to over 5,000 audio and video concert recordings through nugs.net. Call 844-711-8800 and become a VIP. Offer details apply. Not available in Canada.
Whether it's big on the block, get down to the gritty and tell the city the home of the villain, or blowing up online. Hip Hop Nation connects you to the biggest hits in the game. That's the difference when you're my baby. That's how it is when you're just turn up and vibe. Hip Hop Nation, commercial-free hip-hop hits. Channel 44 and the SiriusXM app. To hear these channels, activate your radio by calling 844-711-8800 or visiting SiriusXM.com/go.
With SiriusXM's POTUS, The Laura Coates Show, The Michael Smerconish Program, The Briefing with Steve Scully, The Dan Abrams Show, The Julie Mason Show, and more. Your preset for politics is SiriusXM's POTUS. To hear SiriusXM's POTUS, activate your radio by calling 844-711-8800 or visit SiriusXM.com/go.
Hear all the latest Oscars predictions and previews.
Do you think it's going to clean up at the Oscars? I really think it's an incredible film.
Deep dives on the year's hottest films and exclusive interviews with nominees.
Nominated for Best Supporting Actress, Emily Blunt.
Hello.
Plus, get red carpet ready with hit fashion and pop culture podcasts.
Last night's best dress list. Where should we begin?
And check back out to the big night for more award season reactions. Find it all on the Talkin' Podcast page on the SiriusXM app.
There you go now.
I think I'm recording.
Oh, let's see. There you go now.
I think I'm recording.
Oh, let's see.
If you've been thinking about buying a home, you need to be in the zone, the home buying zone. You need a game plan to win in this great real estate market. The Big C team at Equity Zone Mortgage has all your bases covered. Whether you're a first-time home buyer, purchasing your dream home, refinancing, consolidating debt, or even considering a reverse mortgage, contact the Big C team at Equity Zone Mortgage today. They have the lowest closing costs and they'll close your loan on time, guaranteed, or they'll pay your first mortgage payment. And they even have a 3.5% purchase down payment grant that can get you into a home with little money out of your pocket. It doesn't get more clutch than that, folks. Score big on the biggest purchase of your life. Call Equity Zone Mortgage today at 1-800-772-8624. That's 1-800-772-8624. Or apply online at equityzonemortgage.com and tell them Big C sent you as heard on the Big C Sports Podcast.
Rondo Deportes, Bonjour, Vidi Vidi Vici, let's get ready to rumble! Welcome to the show. My name is Charlton of Big C Sports. This is Big C Sports coming to you worldwide on the Big C Sports Network, on the #1 network in the United States of America. And Big C Sports has been voted the #1 sports show in the universe, according to me, and people who love the universe, and that would include you. What a beautiful day in the neighborhood on a beautiful March the 5th, 2024. Today's show is sponsored by your Northern California Cadillac dealers, home of the all-new Cadillac Escalade, the standard of the world. And when you go by and test drive yours, tell them sit you where the good Lord split you. If that makes sense to you, and hopefully he didn't split you too hard. If that makes sense to you, I want to say you can follow Big C Sports Podcast on 29 podcast applications all across the universe. And streaming on 4 TV platforms: Xfinity, Comcast TV, Apple TV, Roku TV, and Amazon Fire TV. Really do appreciate that. I want to say I'm the only sports show in the universe. I always want to pay homage to Reparations because I believe that a mind is a terrible thing to waste. And when we get our reparations, then we're going to have less waste into the mines. If that makes sense, then. You know, I want to say what I do with Big C Sports Podcast. I got a story. Sometimes, as a young boy, I was known as doing things that maybe I should have thought about first before I did it. But what fun would that be if you thought things out before you did it? So today, as people know, today is called Super Tuesday. Taco Tuesday? No, not Taco Tuesday. Super Tuesday. What's Super Tuesday? Do we get tacos, Big C? No, you don't get tacos on Super Tuesday. You get tacos on Taco Tuesday, but the day is known as Super Tuesday. So what I did is what a lot of young people do. When you hear about the states that are voting for Super Tuesday, and they came across a section on the vote where it said, who do you select as president of the United States? Well, most people think President Joe Biden. People think President Donald Trump. And I think in Nikki Haley's family, they still think Nikki Haley until tonight's over. But I got an idea about who should be the next president of the United States of America. Would you like to hear it? Of course, Big C. Who do you like to be the next president of the United States? I told you, I believe in taking chances, either lead, follow, or get out of the way. So on the write-in ballot, I wrote Big C as the 47th president of the United States. I wrote it. I'm telling you, you can write it on the ballot. They had a couple of suggestions, obviously. They had President Biden, they had President Trump. But it says which states on Super Tuesday 2024, and there's a list of states that can vote today and how many delegates are at stake. And when I think about Republicans, they hold dominating contests in 15 states, and then Democrats in 15 states and one territory on Super Tuesday, the day when the presidential race typically takes shape. And then obviously President Biden remains the front runner for the Democrats. And then doesn't face any serious challenges. Among the states voting on Super Tuesday, Minnesota, the home of state of a Democrat, actually Representative Dean Phillips, who has launched a long-shot bid against Mr. President Biden as the 46th president of the United States and could face defeat in his home state. Although Marianne Williamson also had entered her long-shot campaign, she unsuspected it as she finished ahead of Phillips in the Michigan primaries. Now be that as it may, former President Donald Trump is the front runner for the Republican nomination, and they say if we can't overthrow the election once, we'll try it again. But the former United Nations Assembly ambassador Nikki Haley is still in the race, probably until tonight and going into Super Tuesday. Now Haley lost all but one of the early nominating contests, although she's picked up some delegates along the way. But as I told you, I was raised, you either lead, you either follow, or you get out of the way. And so when it comes to either lead and follow or get out of the way, I had a suggestion when I went into the ballot. You know, they say, now keep whatever you do between you and that pen. Well, I used the pen because I wanted to fill out my ballot so I could see it. You know what I filled in? I filled in Big C. That's nominating for the president, the 47th president-elect of 2024 to become the 47th president. You know, you want to know, they say, well, Big C, if you're going to run for president, you need a running mate to become president. I said, I can find a running mate. Who wouldn't want to become a running mate for the president of the United States? Now, you know, for me, I want to tell you what I did. I chose Snoop Dogg. What? Yes, it's Big C and Snoop Dogg. Now, I have a reason why I chose Snoop Dogg to be my running mate, because he's always so relaxed. You ever see Snoop Dogg when he's not relaxed? I've never seen the brother not relaxed. And so I figured if I run as Big C as president of the United States of America, and I have Snoop Dogg as my running mate, that probably assures I'll get 8 for 8 years. He can't bring Martha Stewart, but I'm sure she can pull in the mainstream white vote. So like Biden pulled in Kamala Harris, Vice President Kamala Harris, to get the black vote, I figured Snoop Dogg could get the white lady vote for the Big C and Snoop Dogg ticket. But I gotta tell you, my acceptance speech. You probably ought to know what it is. It's called Reparations Now, Reparations Forever. And everybody gets $1 billion. Give that some praise. Who wouldn't want to vote for a man that wants to give everybody $1 billion? You get free health care, free housing. Everybody gets a free Cadillac. You also get free education. I'm going to wipe out all college debt. Everybody's mortgage is paid. Your life insurance policy fully paid. If you get in trouble and you need someone to protect your assets, I got RDC. They'll protect your assets. In fact, if I run for president with Snoop Dogg, we going to need someone to protect our assets. You got to make sure that we get 8 years. Get some praise, man. Your next president of the United States, the 47th president, is Big C and Snoop Dogg. I gotta tell you, that's a winning ticket. I'm gonna tell you why. Part of my speech, when I tell people why they need to join the Big C ticket with Snoop Dogg, we have a guide to protect and preserve and transfer wealth with the RDC Consulting. We have The Missing Link, Long-Term Care Solutions by the book. Over 3 decades of experience, Medicare and You, before they get to older folks who understand they need their Medicare. And then Taking Care of Tomorrow, we have Medi-Cal in California. But why vote for a Big C and Snoop Dogg as president of the United States? Because we're going to make sure that your family can avoid the spend down on nursing home costs. Find out your options. Our promise to you: we specialize to navigate and maximize long-term care benefits, protection of your assets. We're going to really need someone to look after our assets, Snoop Dogg, and we become president, vice president. Without a spin down, all paperwork and communication liaison with all government agencies are handled by our staff of entitlement specialists, ongoing consultants to provide updates as necessary, benefits covering skilled nursing facilities, prescription medical equipment costs, and more. But with Big C and Snoop Dogg as president and vice president of the United States of America, we need someone to protect our assets, especially the Secret Service, including our home, thereby allowing us to leave a legacy for our families, avoiding the nightmare of debt brought by the government's estate recovery program, which can be up to 40% in one-time processing fee versus monthly insurance premiums. For the rest of your life, we will have Secret Service protecting our assets. I think Snoop Dogg would go along with that. I want to also tell you, when it comes to sports, you can get sports for free. Give sports some praise. You get free sports, no more paying for subscriptions like they do in the mothership. And I also want to tell you, as president, I'm going to say to all the business owners, why the Big C team, 800-772-8624, 800-772-8624, because we provide for you business owners in the United States. Not only am I going to give you $1 billion, you're going to find out other options to protect what your insurance does not cover. We make sure we cover your assets, if that makes sense to you. All of it. No matter how big your assets are or how small your assets are, we cover it all with RDC. Protection, insurance coverage required by law, general liability, workers' compensation, lawyers specializing in living trust, Medicaid or Medi-Cal planning for long-term care, avoid probate, life insurance, and then fixed assets, your bank account, checking accounts, saving accounts, money market, certificates of deposits, life insurance with cash values, fixed indexed annuities, and variable assets, real estate, qualified money, IRA, 401k, and other investments. That's why I say, when I went in today, they called it Super Tuesday. Not for tacos, Big C? No, the Super Tuesday is for tacos. That's Taco Tuesday. This is for voting for the next president of the United States. And I made sure that I wrote in my name and I put in as my vice president is Big C and Snoop Dogg to become the 47th president and vice president of the United States. You got to give that some praise. So I want you to know two things. I'm going to make sure that everybody becomes a billionaire. You want to be a billionaire? Vote for the Big C and Snoop Dogg team. You need someone, if you're in business, if you own property, you got to make sure that you have someone to protect your assets. Now, we're going to have the Secret Service to protect our assets. If that makes sense to you. Now, I've been known to have a speech impediment. So if you got a dirty mind, wash your mouth out with soap, like my teacher did for me when I was in the first grade. I said, teacher, I want to know how you're going to protect my assets. Would you believe she made me go to the principal's office, and they told me they were going to wash my mouth out with soap. All because I wanted someone to protect my assets. He didn't understand what I was saying. I said English is my second language. Protecting my accents. You can see that's why I'm running for president of the United States. I want the Big C team. I'm going to add Snoop Dogg to the Big C team. And you got to give that some praise because we'll make a winning ticket. Nobody will go against that winning ticket. And the first day in office, I'm going to sign reparations now. Reparations forever. Everybody gets $1 billion. Now, go out and vote for me. You got to write it in though, because they didn't put my name on the ballot. But I thought that'd be fun. Give me some praise, trying to turn this country around. I'm going to make America rich again. That's my slogan. Make America rich again. Vote for Big C and Snoop Dogg. And you know what about you? You think I'm joking? Wait until we win. I said wait until we win. People say, "Oh, Big C, you must be out your mind thinking they gonna vote for you and Snoop Dogg." I said, yeah, we gonna win, and you watch, it's gonna happen when I get elected into office because people write me in, Big C and Snoop Dogg as president, vice president of the United States of America. What did Jesse Jackson say? He said, "Keep hope alive, keep hope alive." And when we get in, we're going to need Secret Service to keep us alive. Protect our assets. Oh, there'll be no insurrection when DC is president. I'm going to make racism a federal hate crime. That'll teach them. Oh, Lord have mercy. What was in that chocolate that I ate? I want to thank the California Reparations Task Force because of mine is a terrible thing to waste, and they're making sure we get our reparations. Oh God, life is so funny. I want to tell you, I love giving praise where praise is due, and I do mean it. Vote for Big C and Snoop Dogg as president, vice president for the 2024 election. That'll teach them about not passing reparations. But I'm going to pass it first thing in office. But I'm going to say, I'm also going to have part of my cabinet is Camila Moore, attorney. She is the chair of the California Reparations Task Force. I'm going to have Dr. Emmett C. Brown, the vice chair. I think they're both brilliant. I'm going to have the greatest senator in the United States of America, California Senator Stephen Bradford. He's going to be on my team. He's brilliant. I'm going to have council member Monica Montgomery Stepby. She's brilliant. I'm going to have her on my team. I'm going to have Assembly member Reginald Jones Sawyer. He's brilliant. I'm going to have him on my team. I'm going to have Dr. Michelle Grills. She's brilliant. I'm going to have her on my team. I'm going to have Lisa Holder, attorney Lisa Holder. She's brilliant. I'm going to have her on my team. I'm going to have Dr. Javon Scott Lewis, professor at California Berkeley. He's brilliant. I'm going to have him on my team. I'm going to have Donald K. Tamaki, attorney at law, on my team. He's brilliant. I'm going to have him on my team. I'm going to have Double O, the payout committee for the National Black Wall Street Projects. He sent me Executive Order 13985 on further advancing racial equity and support for the underserved communities through the federal government. And that's the White House, where Big C and Snoop Dogg will become the next president and vice president of the United States of America. Secret Service, make sure you protect our assets. If that makes sense here. Because some people think I'm joking, but you watch when it happens. You'll see that I'm speaking the truth. I also want to thank Georgetown University because they already pledged reparations to 272 families, descendants of child slavery that were sold off to help pay off the debts for Georgetown. You won't have to sell your children to pay off debts when Big C's in office. I'm going to give everybody $1 billion. You sing that song, you want to be a billionaire? I'm going to sing it for you. I want to be a billionaire so freaking bad. When I become president, make sure the Secret Service protects my assets. If that makes sense to you. I'm having a great day. What a great day it is. And I remember when I win that you thought I was joking. What, he won? Are you sure Big C's the president? That's right. And you get $1 billion. So make sure you go out and vote for me before the day's over. I want to thank Double O, the payout committee for the National Black Wall Street Project. She sent me this order by the United Nations that said that strong leadership and political will are crucial to ensure reparatory justice for people of African descent. And that's me, Big C, and also I got Snoop Dogg as the vice president. So I've named off many of my cabinet, and I want to make sure that's important to me. I'm not saying it just for the sake of saying it. I want to make sure that I do my part in thanking the right people to help me get into office. And part of also the cabinet for the Big C team as president of the United States, to the 47th President of the United States, and the Vice President going to be Snoop Dogg to guarantee that I get 8 years. If that makes sense to you. I want to also say that we have some great endorsements. We have Attorney George Jones, Esquire, the chairman of the California Black Chamber of Commerce, also California Black Chamber of Commerce Foundation. We also have Mr. Leon Woods, resource development consultant, and one of the top lobbyists in California. We have Mrs. Cheryl Brown. She's the chair of the California Commission on Aging. We have Mr. Ray De La Cruz. He's the president and CEO of RDC Consulting, making sure that everybody gets their assets protected, if that makes sense to you. And then we have Mr. Alex De La Cruz, founder of American Veteran Benefits. He's also part of the Big C team, making sure our veterans have all their assets protected. Give us some praise. You think I'm joking? Wait until you wake up and you realize that Big C and Snoop Dogg have been elected president and vice president of 2024. You already know it's going to happen. And then for all the other people who are going to say, well, who let this happen? How did this happen? I need answers now. There are going to be people asking for answers now, but I just told you that with the Big C team, there's no reason not to believe in what I'm saying. And then when I announce it, people are going to understand it. That's what I say. I just want to give that some praise. I want to give it praise. You know, I gotta bring up something also with Big C Sports. Not only will I become the 47th president of the United States, and everybody that votes for you get $1 billion if you vote for me. If you don't vote for me, then you don't get $1 billion. Think about that when you get to write in somebody's name. You vote for Big C, I'm going to give you $1 billion. People say, well, where the money going to come from? Don't worry about it. You're going to get it. You're going to get the $1 billion. Okay? I'm just telling you that's my plan, but I got to become president to make it happen. And when I become president, I'm also going to say that I want to make sure that I expand the Veterans Crisis Hotline, because they have people who are experienced helping veterans and their loved ones get help. Oftentimes we praise our military, but what happens when they come back home and they're all jacked up? Well, 800-273-8255. That's 800-273-8255. Or you can text 838-255. That's 838-255. If you're online, simply go to veteranscrisisline.net. That's veteranscrisisline.net. And when you do, you want to give us some praise, because we all need somebody to lean on, especially our veterans when they come back home and they're all jacked up. They have issues, post-traumatic stress disorder, and they need help. And that's what I love doing, giving out the Veterans Crisis Hotline. They really do that. I want to thank This Is T-Mobile, America's largest 5G network, proud sponsors of Big C Sports. I want you to get out the votes for Big C and Snoop Dogg. If you vote for us and we win, you get $1 billion. As the president, I also have immunity from prosecution. I found where the vote is. Everybody gets $1 billion. All fair level work. Really do appreciate that. It'll be a modern day reparations moment when it's like Moses came down and he was talking to God, and God said, Moses, Big C, go down into Egypt and tell Pharaoh to let my people go. And Big C and Moses said, well, God, who do we tell him sent us? And God said, tell him I am sent you. That'll get them to pay attention to the vote. And I know if you voted for me or not, because you'll be the one getting $1 billion. If you don't vote for me and Snoop Dogg, then you on your own keep doing what you're doing, hoping and praying, and that makes sense to you. But I want to tell you what I do with Big C Sports. I always produce the show. I direct the topics. I broadcast all the shows. I do all the sound effects based on the platform provided by the agency. We could all use more laughter in our lives. And you won't be laughing when I become the 47th president of the United States and announce Snoop Dogg as my vice president. You watch it. And then I'm telling you, the sound effects are done, the commercials are provided, and then the stats are provided. I do all the storytelling like I'm telling you a story right now. When you go to vote for a president, put in Big C. Okay? If the Associated Press can find me, they can find me. Put in Big C, and my running mate's going to be Snoop Dogg. That's a winning ticket. I'm telling you. I know Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, they're doing their thing, trying to get the black vote again. But they're afraid to say reparations. Donald Trump says reparations. I don't know how we're going to do that. I mean, I don't understand how we're going to vote for reparations. But he knows how he's going to vote for reparations. He gave all those tax breaks to all of his friends. You know, the ones that went to jail, they got tax breaks too. But they should have done things the right way. At the same time, There will not be an insurrection with Big C and Snoop Dogg in office. Everybody who votes for us, they get $1 billion. If you don't vote for us, you don't get $1 billion. And you get free sports. Give that some praise. Everybody loves sports. I do, you do, we all do. And with the RDC, you get all your assets protected. 800-772-8624, 800-772-8624. You know, I want to run across something when it comes to Big C Sports. I'm advocating for the California black media because they do a great job of reaching out and disseminating news. Had the great Tony Harvey on the program last week. And when you think about what is black media, California black media, Big C? California black media is a trusted advocate for more than 30 independent black-owned and operated news publishers, multimedia platforms, and broadcasters across California. At the core of the mission is a commitment to plead their own cause, a phrase inspired by the words and wisdom of activist, educator, and pioneering journalist Ida B. Wells. The programs are designed to support the work and strengthen the editorial capacity of our local media partners. And we provide impartial, fact-based, data-focused news covering to our partners, covering California politics and governmental affairs and policies that impact the overall health and quality of the life of all Californians, especially African Americans. And then a working partnership with Ethnic Media Services connects our organization to the journalism and conversations that unite or may potentially divide various ethnic communities across the states. And also our work to facilitate communication between African American Californians and policymakers, the black press, and the community-based organizations, creating a communications loop that ensures African Americans are informed, engaged, and participating in the processes that strengthen and define our democracy. Give that some praise as we look to protect your assets. That's my story, and I'm sticking with it. I gotta tell you, I came across an article that I thought was very interesting. And another reason you need to vote for Big C as a write-in ballot and Snoop Dogg as the next president and vice president of the United States, there's something called a racial wealth divide and black millionaires. And I want to tell you, everybody gets $1 billion when I become president, so you got to vote for me to get the money. Now, if I don't get the vote, then you can't hold me accountable to that. But there's an article that I came across. It was November 8, 2023. And it talked about the racial wealth divide and United States black billionaires. Now, I told you, when you vote for the Big C team for a president of the United States, and you happen to cast your ballot for Big C and Snoop Dogg, I'm going to just sign by executive order, everybody gets $1 billion. No matter what color you are, as long as you're a United States citizen, you get $1 billion. But think about it. There was a study that was done that I want people to think about really. I know you want to know about sports and who won the game, but this is about sports because every sports league owner is a billionaire. Isn't that something? There's a correlation. Now, when the first African-American billionaires emerged, most stemmed from the entertainment industry. What did James Brown say? He said, I feel good. I knew that I would. I feel nice. The singer inspired. So nice. I got you. Hey, you want the real James Brown? Well, you can't have the real James Brown, but I'm doing my best to bring it to you. So if you go back to 2001, Black Entertainment Television co-founder Bob Johnson, he was the world's wealthiest African-American person with an estimated net worth of nearly $1.6 billion. By 2021, Johnson's estimated fortune has fallen by more than half, meaning that he no longer appeared on the annual magazine list of billionaires the world over. That's another reason you should write in Big C in the ballot for President of the United States, along with Snoop Dogg as my running mate, because I'm going to make sure that everybody gets $1 billion. Everybody, Big C? Yeah, everybody. How you going to do that, Big C? Through executive order. So what do they do when they have $1 billion? They got to consult with RDC to protect their assets, if that makes sense. When you got $1 billion, you bet your assets, you better be protected. And we'll make sure you get that too. Now think about this. He's no longer held that title in 2021. But other black billionaires, African-American billionaires, they did hold that title. But their profiles mostly reflect Johnson's with roots in the entertainment industry. You notice they have the Oscar coming up. You can have some of our, what you call WEB, the most talented 10 African Americans showing up, all nicely dressed, hoping they get an award. But think about this when it comes to who actually owns things in the United States. You want to own a sports team, you got to be a billionaire. You can't walk in there with $50 in the bank saying, I want to buy stock in a team. Now, there were 9 African Americans on the billionaires list in 2021, and 2/3 of them in the business of entertaining people. Have you not been entertained with Big C Sports telling you I'm going to become the next president of the United States of America? And just to guarantee that, I'm going to have Snoop Dogg as my running mate. He's going to have Martha Stewart get the old white lady vote, the same way Kamala Harris got the black people vote for President Joe Biden. And we're going to reverse the crime bill. Anybody incarcerated over minor offenses, you're going to get pardoned. If that makes sense to you. So there were 9 African Americans on the billionaires list 2021. 2/3 of them in the business of entertaining people. Have you not been entertained? The opening part of Big C's presidential campaign. You heard it first on Big C Sports. Now 2/3 of them were in the business of entertaining people. And 6 individuals, the great Oprah Winfrey, who I think I can find a spot in the Big C's cabinet for the great Oprah Winfrey. The great Michael Jordan, I think I can find a spot in Michael Jordan in the Big C's presidential election campaign. I think I can find a spot for the great Jay-Z, known as Sean Carter. I can find a spot for Jay-Z. He can do the inaugural music, he and Beyonce. And then the great Tyler Perry, he can do a lot of the cinematography that comes up for the Big C and Snoop Dogg presidential inauguration speech. I'm going to have LeBron James. He's going to be part of our team. At the same time, I'm going to have the great Tiger Woods. You know, a lot of presidents like to golf. He can go out and get the white golfers' vote. We need those votes too, and we won't turn any votes down. You vote for the Big C and Snoop Dogg to get you become a billionaire by executive order. And some of the most well-known African American individuals in the world. Now, this is where I'm telling you, people who want to own a sports team. Ironically, the most well-known African American billionaires are also the least wealthy among the African American peers. The wealthiest African American, according to documentation, is Robert Smith. He has an estimated net worth of $5 billion as of 2021, almost twice that of Oprah Winfrey and Jay-Z, who are the wealthiest African American entertainers. Now, Smith's wealth derived from the financial sector. You get that? Not by going touchdown, home run, 3-point play. Old man Willie, he's going all the way. Smith got his money like the RDC team. His wealth derived from the financial sector. In following the tradition of Canadian financier Michael Lee Chin, the other African-American man to crack the billionaires list, the same year as Johnson did. Now, Smith's private equity firm called Vista Equity Partners focused on investing in software companies, an important component of the tech sector from which the second and sixth wealthiest African Americans emerged. Isn't that something? But if you vote for Big C and Snoop Dogg to become the next president and vice president of the United States of America, and you give us the vote, we can not only pass reparations, but we vote for $1 billion. And I can do it by executive order. So I want to just run down a list of billionaires. You want to be like them? Vote for Big C and Snoop Dogg. You got to write it in, though. You're going to see President Biden, Donald Trump, Nikki Haley until the weekend. But you got to write in Big C and Snoop Dogg. If we get enough votes, then you get $1 billion if you voted for me. You can join the likes of Robert Smith at $8 billion in finance. You can join the likes of David Stewart at $6 billion information technology. You can join the likes of Jay-Z, reported $2.5 billion in music. You can join the likes of the great Oprah Winfrey, reportedly at $2.5 billion in media. You can join the likes of Michael Jordan, reportedly at $2 billion in sports and endorsements. You can join the likes of Alex Karp at $1.3 billion, information and technology. You can join the likes of the great Tiger Woods at $1.1 billion, sports and endorsements. You can join the likes of the great LeBron James, who just went over 40,000 points and they beat OKC last night. He did his in sports and endorsements. You can join the likes of the great Tyler Perry at $1 billion. He did it in media. And with the Big C becoming president and Snoop Dogg vice president, you too become a billionaire so freaking bad. And we'll make sure you have RDC to help you protect your assets if that makes sense. 800-772-8624, 800-772-8624. So I'm talking about this because a lot of people push their kids into becoming the next athlete. You have 2 African-American billionaires are in tech, and the wealthiest of the 9 is in finance. And the small contingent of African-American billionaires have a very different industry makeup than the top 500 billionaires listed by the magazine called Fortune. We've all heard of Fortune magazine. And then you have a plurality of Fortune's top 500 billionaires. They made their money in tech, not playing football, basketball, and baseball. It was about 14% of the list. Another 13% are in the industrial sector, and 11% came from finance. Only about 3% are in the entertainment field. Now that's a clue, but I can change that if you elect Big C and Snoop Dogg as the next president and vice president of the United States. I told you by executive order I can sign that everybody who votes for us become a billionaire. There are more billionaires in the United States, 735, than anywhere in the world. Now, though the number of United States African-American billionaires has increased from 1 to 9 in about 20 years, you vote Big C and Snoop Dogg in office, everybody becomes a billionaire overnight, and you get reparations. Now, that's a winning ticket. Now, though the number has grown it took 20 years, the rise of the African-American billionaire has done nothing to bridge the wealth inequality in 2001. When Johnson and Chen broke the billionaire color barrier, the median wealth of an African-American family was about $15,000, according to Dr. Edward Wolf research, and then white median wealth was 10 times that, a little over $150,000. You can trace that back to 1862, the Homestead Act, where the United States government gave white people over 300 million acres of land for free, plus all the wealth accumulated from slavery 1619 to 1865. You know the story. They said, pull yourself up by your bootstrap. Now, by 2019, the median white wealth had risen to $160,000, while African-American household wealth has shrunk to about $9,000. Would have been a 10-to-1 median wealth advantage for white Americans leapt to about 18-to-1 in less than 2 decades. How did that happen? In the most elite economic grouping, the billionaire class, African-American billionaires, are only about 1% of the billionaires in this country, much smaller than the 13% of the United States population that African-Americans represent. That's why we got to have reparations now. Reparations forever. It gave white people a head start from 1619 to even 2024. They killed affirmative action in 2023. Now, the racial wealth divide for African Americans is found at every income level. You know why? Because the country refused to protect our assets, if that makes sense to you. We had our assets exposed through slavery and then 100 years of Jim Crow and all the other garbage that worked against us. But we can fix that. It's important that we not just be trying to entertain people. In my best English, that we not just be trying to entertain people. But the racial wealth divide for African Americans is found at every income level. Even the most elite of African Americans, the African American billionaires, have little wealth compared to those of white Americans, according to the Forbes 2023 richest people in America. No African Americans are even in the top 50 wealthiest Americans, and several African American billionaires don't even qualify for the wider Forbes 400 list. But you know what happened? If you look at the Kerner Commission, and it talked about how there was a divide in how black Americans or African Americans and white Americans were treated, that was by design. The government designed that. And when you talk about the racial wealth divide in African American home ownership, their data shows there's small gains that have been made as the mortgage meltdown destroyed black family wealth. Banks were predatory lending to African Americans and more apt to foreclose on an African American homeowner than a white person. That information is there. In fact, banks have paid settlements because of it. And what I want to say with the Big C team, why I want to make sure that you understand when I say I'm really running for president of the United States, some people think, oh, you just joking. I'm not joking. I wrote in my name in the ballot. I wrote it in. And some people say their votes don't count. But I'm telling you right now, if you vote for Big C and Snoop Dogg, you're going to get $1 billion if we win. Or when we win. Right now, co-chair of the National Black Wall Street Project, Northern California chapter. I'm owner of Big C Sports Podcast. And I'm also I'm telling you, it's important for me to say it because it's true. Business development consultant for RDC. We work with attorneys and estate planners to help people protect their assets. And I mean it too. If you're a business, no matter what you think you have, a business owner, you got to find out your other options to protect what your insurance company does not cover. Oh, Big C, they cover everything. They don't. There are people in Southern California, when the floods happened last week, their houses got damaged through flood. And you know, when they went to make a claim on their policy, if they did not have flood insurance, you know they would decline. You know, there are many insurance companies that are leaving California because the claims are so high, they just decided to fold up shop. Even CalPERS had a settlement where they told people, you don't have your benefits, but here's 80% of what you sue for this settlement. And so why RDC? Why 800-772-8624, 800-772-8624? I have many agents across the country that are just joining the Big C team. And all we want to do is help people understand how to protect your assets, if that makes sense to you. Because you can't walk around without being protected. And all we're saying is find out your other options to protect what your insurance does not cover. Oh, they cover everything. No, they don't. And if you think they do, call 800-772-8624, 800-772-8624, 800-772-8624. We'll give you a free financial needs analysis. Just need your declaration page. And if we can show you how you benefit by working with RDC, the Big C team, then give us some praise. We'll help you save money and protect more of your assets. If that makes sense to you. You don't want to go around not being protected. So I want to tell you that story about the billionaires in the United States, and it's important. I got to tell you something on a sports note, because one of my favorite athletes and an activist, the great Colin Kaepernick, and Colin Kaepernick played high school football at Pittman High School in Turlock, California. He was an all-state baseball player too, and then he went to college at the University of Nevada. And then from there, of course, he played for the 49ers, took them to the Super Bowl, etc. But he took a stand with what the Kerner Commission talked about, and it's about having equality for law enforcement that's sworn to protect and serve, the peace officers. The last thing you should ever do is pull a gun on someone. But we know that's happened too many times, and that's what Colin Kaepernick was alluding to. But you can find, he alluded to what the Kerner Commission reported. The California itself just did a study in 2023, I believe. Now they're saying when you get pulled over by law enforcement, they got to tell you why they're pulling you over. They got to tell you why they're pulling you over. Before this law came into pass, they would say, do you know why I pulled you over? And then they tell you anything you say can and will be held against you in the court of law. People don't know that. You're nervous when you got the red lights flashing on you. They pull you over, and the officer says, and then one walks on the other side of the car, and he says, hands on your steering wheel, do you know why I pulled you over? No, I don't. Well, now they got to say, the reason I pulled you over is because of whatever reason. Do you know, even with that information, law enforcement opine that black men, African-American men, are more likely than white men to be pulled over? But when they find any type of paraphernalia on the individual, they find it at a higher rate on white men than they do on African-American men. Why is that? That's a study by the California Highway Patrol. So, if that's the case, think about that. There's a guy by the name of Jordan Love. He's a quarterback now for the Green Bay Packers. He played high school at Liberty High School in Bakersfield, went to Utah State. Now he's a quarterback for the Green Bay Packers. They beat the Dallas Cowboys in the first playoff game, and then they came and played San Francisco, and they lost that game. So Colin Kaepernick has been friends with Jordan Love. But former Green Bay Packers, I got to tell you this because you may not understand it. When you think about some of the Green Bay fans, some of them, not all, they were upset about Colin Kaepernick being seen with Jordan Love, the quarterback of the Green Bay Packers. Many people in a Green Bay Packers forum, it says, stay away. NFL fan base is furious after spotting Colin Kaepernick with the team's star player, Jordan Love. Think about this. He's become a polarizing figure, according to some Green Bay media, in the NFL world since his protest against police brutality. Now, isn't that an oxymoron? Why would you be angry with someone who's protesting against police brutality? When the Kerner Commission told you that there's a disparity in how black Americans are treated compared to white men. Think about the pig laws and the black codes that existed after slavery was abolished and we had 100 years of Jim Crow. Pig laws and black codes. They could arrest a black person by just being out late at night. Those are black codes and pig laws. Unless you're the dumbest person in the universe, how would you not know that existed? Why would you get mad at a man for saying stop doing that to us and our children? So when he kneeled during the national anthem, the former quarterback had been involved in many rumors that people said he was anti-America. It was not anti-America. He did it because of a Marine asked him to do it. If you kneel like you kneel in church, it's more respectful. But the white media turned it against, they got to make him anti-American. How could a black man be anti-American when you come out of a history of racism and segregation and slavery? Think about that. A black man that says stop hurting black people is considered anti-American. You ought to be out of your fucking mind! How can saying stop hurting people be anti-American? Back to what I was telling you. For all of you who love sports so much, and you should be supporting reparations and voting for Big C Sports, the Big C team, to become your next president. Now, the former quarterback has been involved in many rumors in the past year regarding possible comeback to the league. And he wrote in a letter to the New York Jets at the start of last year, 2023 season, asking to join their practice squad following the Aaron Rodgers injury. Now, how could you hate a man for asking for a job? Colin Kaepernick has been inducted into the Nevada Sports Hall of Fame. He was an all-star baseball pitcher at Pittman High School in Turlock. He's still the only player, he's in the NFL in the playoffs to hold the record for the most yards thrown for and rushed for in a playoff game at Candlestick Park versus Green Bay. So Kaepernick was spotted Sunday with Green Bay Packers quarterback Jordan Love sitting together in Las Vegas, watching a tennis match. And there's no information as to why the two were hanging out. A lot of athletes are friends. And Packers fans were not happy that their rising star, Jordan Love, was talking with Colin Kaepernick, who says stop hurting black men and treat people fair, liberty and justice for all. And because all the controversy that he started in the NFL world, Kaepernick did not start a controversy by saying stop hurting black people. The Kerner Commission opined that story. California Highway Patrol said the same story. They do pull over black Americans at a lot higher rate than they do white Americans. They know that. But why did people make it about anti-America when Colin Kaepernick said stop hurting black people? Now, I gotta have you juxtapose that. Because two black men in mainstream media doesn't want them to interact with each other. Now, many Green Bay fans, they think that having Kaepernick around Jordan Love would not be good for his future, and that these fans have some pretty strong feelings toward the two hanging out, and some are calling for Love to stay away from Kaepernick, saying that he will ruin his career, and that the former 49er quarterback is not good for Jordan Love. I'm not going to go into all the vitriol that happened from some of the Green Bay fan base, and they put it in writing. You can Google it if you want to. I'm not going to get into it. However, I will juxtapose that to one of the most beloved Green Bay Packers of all, the great Brett Favre. In 2023, you know, he was interrogated in Hattiesburg, Mississippi, about welfare funding in 2023. However, many Green Bay fans, they don't like Colin Kaepernick for saying stop hurting black people to law enforcement. But then, Colin Kaepernick never been in trouble. Brett Favre's been interrogated for welfare fraud in one of the poorest states in the country, Mississippi. He's not ostracized by the Green Bay fans, mostly Caucasian. That's a fact. So how's a man who's interrogated for welfare fraud, how's he more beloved than a black man for saying stop hurting black people? And that's why I say racism is a horrible problem. And when I become president, it's going to become a federal crime, a hate crime. But Colin Kaepernick was never been in trouble. And America and the white media turned against him. You look at Brett Favre, interrogated in Hattiesburg about welfare funding. The article came out December 12, 2023. He's one of 47 defendants in a civil case that the Mississippi Department of Human Services, the state safety net agency, it filed in an attempt to recoup $77 million in misspent money, stolen welfare funds, by the great Brett Favre, along with 47 other people, not Colin Kaepernick. Why hasn't the white media jumped on Brett Favre? Why are they protecting his assets, if that makes sense to you? But they tried to destroy Colin Kaepernick just for saying stop hurting black people. That the Kerner Commission says they have a problem and they have to atone for that. So, attorneys interrogated former NFL quarterback Brett Favre about his involvement in the Mississippi welfare scandal for about 8 hours last December. And the question centered around how Favre lobbied welfare officials for federal grant funds to support the construction of a volleyball stadium at the University of Southern Mississippi and a pharmaceutical startup company in which the athlete was investing in. The scheduled deposition, which happened in Hattiesburg, relates to the ongoing civil lawsuit, not criminal proceedings, that Brett Favre is one of 47 defendants in a civil case that the Mississippi Department of Human Services, the state safety net agency, filed in an attempt to recoup $77 million in misspent or stolen welfare funds. Has the NFL become anti-Brett Favre? Did you hear what I asked? Has the NFL become anti-Brett Favre? Have they ostracized Brett Favre? Have they stripped Brett Favre of his Hall of Fame jacket? They ostracized a black man just for saying stop hurting black people. And many of the main white stream media came on television and said, oh, he's anti-American. I'll not tolerate him not standing for the flag. And it cost the man $100 million. And you white media know that. I'll speak the truth. A white man that's interrogated over welfare fraud with 47 other co-conspirators, they have not ostracized Brett Favre, a white man from the NFL, have they? Much of the state's case rests on text messages between officials and Brett Favre, which lawyers say demonstrate that Favre knew the funds were supposed to serve the needy and that there were federal restrictions for using the money to erect buildings. Favre also personally received $1.1 million from the public agency, which officials funneled through two payments from a private nonprofit in 2017 and 2018 to cut radio ads for the state's anti-poverty initiative. Mississippi is one of the poorest states in the Union. A lot of black Americans, African Americans live in Mississippi. So when Colin Kaepernick saying stop hurting black people, the white media turned on him. I'll not tolerate you saying you're anti-American. How is saying stop hurting black people anti-American? But a man who's white who gets welfare funds to help build a facility, he's not considered anti-American. And so the Green Bay Packer fans that have turned on Colin Kaepernick and saying, Jordan Love, don't dare hang out with a man that says stop hurting people who look like you. But hang out with a man who's interrogated over welfare fraud? Doesn't make any sense, does it? And so when people say, oh, racism does not exist, we live in a colorblind society. Oh, we don't need to pay no reparations. We don't live in a colorblind society. And that's why with Big C Sports, I want to make sure that I do my part to say it's not just my thoughts and why when I run for president of the United States and I wrote in my name Big C on the ballot with Snoop Dogg as my running mate, and we go to win. And when we win, my speech is going to be reparations now, reparations forever. And Secret Service, get over here now, protect our assets. Just in case somebody tries an insurrection. But I want to do that and give everybody $1 billion, free health care for life, free housing, free food, even a free gym membership, and free chocolate. You never have to pay for chocolate again. It's part of an entitlement program when I become president of the United States. And I mean that. I know some people think I'm joking, but I also said that Big C Sports, when I started Big C Sports and started talking about reparations, that is going to get on the public ballot. And now it is since 2020, actually. You can get that some praise. I was saying it first. I didn't wait until I saw it. I want to say part of my speech for President of the United States. I want you to hear one of the greatest speakers in the history of the country. Listen to the words of Dr. King and what I'm going to have playing when I become president, the 47th president of the United States of America. And Snoop Dogg's going to be my running mate. But I'm going to start my inauguration speech with a speech from Dr. Martin Luther King. Here it goes.
At the same time that America refused to give the Negro any land, through an act of Congress, our government was giving away millions of acres of land in the West and the Midwest, which meant that it was willing to undergird its white peasants from Europe with an economic floor. But not only did they give the land, they built land-grant colleges with government money to teach them how to farm. Not only that, they provided county agents to further their expertise in farming. Not only that, they provided low interest rates in order that they could mechanize their farms. Not only that, today many of these people are receiving millions of dollars in federal subsidies not to farm, and they are the very people telling the black man that he ought to lift himself by his own bootstraps. And this is what we are faced with, and this is the reality. Now, when we come to Washington in this campaign, we are coming to get our check.
Now, you got to give that some praise. I said get that praise, because it's a fact. It's a fact, and that's what I'm doing with Big C Sports. I'm not chucking and jiving. I'm going to make sure that I do my part to get us all paid. Get us paid so we all know that we deserve this when I become president of the United States. I wrote it on the ballot with Big C and Snoop Dogg as the president, vice president. We're going to help everybody protect their assets, if that makes sense to you. Oh, Fred Leavenworth. I love bringing you Big C Sports podcast. I love having fun with the show. But I'm serious about the billionaire status and how the wealth gap was created by the Homestead Act and also slavery. And it's time for descendants of chattel slavery to get our due. But I'm going to give everybody $1 billion, but you got to vote for me first. Me and Snoop Dogg, the 47th president and vice president of the United States of America. Give that some praise. Give it praise. I love giving praise to my beautiful family legacy on my mother's side, my great-grandmother, Mamo, my great-grandfather, Pop, my grandmother, Muddy, and my beautiful grandfather, Hezekiah, beautiful, wonderful people, and then my beautiful mama, the most beautiful mama in the history of the universe. Always saying, rise and shine, the best person I ever met in my life. Started a Head Start program and a food program. Really do appreciate my mama. I love my mama with all my heart, mind, body, and soul. On my father's side, my grandfather, Albert Curry, my grandmother, Alberta Curry. And who would have known when I was 8 years old, walking through a hallway, looking for something, I felt I touched my forehead at night time, about 10 o'clock at night. She said, "What are you doing up, young man?" It's 10 o'clock at night. I said, "What are you doing up, Grandma? It's 10 o'clock at night. You normally go to bed at 8:30. She said, "What are you doing, young man? Going to get some cookies?" I said, "Cookies are baby crap to what I'm doing. I'm going to get my reparations." And some cookies wouldn't hurt. How does she know I become the 47th president of the United States on the write-in ballot? She said there's something about your voice. I love hearing you speak. Really do appreciate her. And then my beautiful father, former United States Air Force fighter pilot, chief mechanic, always making sure that planes can fly high so we can all stay safe at night. Really do appreciate my dad. Love my dad with all my heart, mind, body, and soul. My beautiful brother, Todd, with that bombastic voice. Sound like thunder and lightning when Todd would speak. Always saying go forward. Reparations reader. Love Todd with all my heart, mind, body, and soul. My beautiful daughter, Daisy, the most beautiful daughter in the history of the universe. College student, 2 degrees with honors in 3.5 years from a major university. Set up the very first interview for Big C Sports back at Salem Media. We're going to become the first time in the history of the United States that NFL Monday Night Football started broadcasting live on the Wall Street Business Network because of 2 black men in the crew. Lazy, I love you with all my heart, mind, body, and soul. You can be anything you want to be. And now I'm going to become president of the United States. I just need everybody to vote. And then my beautiful, handsome son, Malcolm, the most handsome son in the history of the universe. College student, very smart, erudite, a good man. I love you with all my heart, mind, body, and soul. Malcolm helped me save trees. I used to always get up newspapers to look up stats for Big C Sports Podcast. One day, Malcolm said, Dad, why don't you just Google it? And a light bulb went off. I've been Googling ever since, now on 29 podcast platforms. One day, Malcolm said, Dad, you want to see Big C Sports on TV? I said, sure. He said, pick up the remote, aim it at the TV and say, play Big C Sports. You see your show pop up. Now it's on 4 TV platforms, streaming Xfinity, Comcast TV, Apple TV, Roku TV, and Amazon Fire TV. Now I'm about to become the president of the United States if I can get enough votes. I love you with all my heart, my body, and soul. You can be anything you want to be. And Big C, all that wealth of knowledge over the years, always saying you gotta believe, saying let's get ready to rumble. I love saying welcome to the show. As we nominated Big C Sports Podcast, I have no scripts, I have no 3-way teleprompters, I have no producer in my ear. Really do appreciate that. As I always tell you on every Big C Sports Podcast, I say, if you're gonna drink, don't drive. If you're gonna drive, don't drink, because mothers against drunk drivers are mad. And fathers against drunk drivers are mad. It's one of the easiest things not to do. You can call Uber, you can call Lyft, you can walk it off, you can sleep it off. But don't let someone you love get behind the wheel of a car and start driving after they've been drinking. The life you say may be your own, or someone you love. That's my story, and I'm sticking with it. Well, as I always tell you, back by popular demand, there's never ever an excuse for racism or domestic violence. No man, woman, or child should ever have to go through that garbage on their own. If somebody's going to beside your head, pick up the phone, call 911. Anyone who loves you, they would never do that. You need LEADER in your life. What's LEADER, Big C? LEADER is an acronym for love is the answer. Anybody that loves you, they don't go beside your head, call 911. That's my story, and I'm sticking with it. Now, as I always tell you on every Big C Sports show, back in the day, there's a man known by the name of Drew Boudini Brown. He's known as Muhammad Ali's right-hand man. He would always tell Ali, he said, you float like a butterfly and you sting like a bee. Rumble, young man, rumble. He said, with all you got to use, how can you lose? Ali said, I'm so pretty, I can't possibly be beat. And when I heard Big C Sports say he wanted to become president, I said, reparations now, reparations forever. And then I flew like a butterfly and I stayed like a bee. Back by popular demand, I love paying homage to President Abraham Lincoln and Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., who was with Lyndon Baines Johnson when he signed the civil rights in the law of the long-term care. It's an entitlement. We're going to say reparations now, reparations forever. Once Big C's and Snoop Dogg's inauguration speech become the next 47th president of the United States, we're going to say sign reparations now. I'm going to sign reparations forever. Come on, when you vote for the Big C and Snoop Dogg to become the 47th president and vice president of the United States, sing it with me. I'm going to say let's sign reparations now. Let's sign reparations forever. I thank you. I appreciate you, and hope that you have a super fantastic day.